AITA for refusing to call my mom's husband dad, which led him to file for divorce and left my mom blaming me for destroying her marriage. I'm a 17-year-old girl. My dad, my real dad, died when I was 10. He was the best dad you could ask for. He wasn't perfect, but he loved me, supported me, came to every school play, every dentist appointment, every stupid choir recital where we all sounded like dying cats. He was my dad. And then one day, he wasn't. He had a heart attack at work and didn't come home. My entire world collapsed. A year later, my mom married Steve. Not his real name. Steve was 44 at the time, my mom was 42, and I was still 10, barely 11. I remember sitting at their wedding, wearing this itchy pink dress, thinking, this doesn't feel right. Steve wanted kids. That was apparently a non-negotiable for him. My mom had me, but due to complications with my birth, she couldn't have more children. He decided that being my dad would be enough. That's what mom told me, anyway. But here's the thing, I never agreed. I didn't want a dad. I already had one. Even if he wasn't alive anymore, he was still my dad. That spot was filled permanently. It wasn't open for reapplication. I tried to be polite. I didn't scream at Steve or say I hated him, but I didn't call him dad. I call him by his first name. If people assumed he was my father, I'd correct them. When he suggested adopting me, I said no. When he introduced me as his daughter, I just stood there stiff, not agreeing. It wasn't that I wanted to hurt him. I just couldn't lie about how I felt. And honestly, he was fine. He didn't mistreat me. He didn't yell or anything. He made an effort. I'll give him that. He came to parent-teacher conferences, helped with math homework sometimes, bought me birthday presents. But there was always this underlying tension because he wanted me to love him like a dad, and I couldn't give that to him. Every time he asked if I'd thought about letting him adopt me, and I said no, I could see the disappointment in his eyes. Every time I called him Steve instead of Dad, I could feel the little sting in the air. But I thought we'd reach some kind of uneasy truce. He could be my mom's husband, and I'd be polite, and we'd just coexist. A few months ago at school, I had an art project. The prompt was family. We were supposed to create something that represented our parents. I painted a picture of my mom and my dad, my real dad. It wasn't supposed to leave the classroom. It was just art therapy for me. But my teacher loved it. She said it was powerful, emotional, talented work. Without asking me, she emailed a picture of it to my mom, saying, "Look at what your daughter created. She's really gifted. You should encourage her art more." My mom showed it to Steve. He broke down, like completely broke down. He told my mom he couldn't do it anymore. That for 7 years he had been trying to be my father, and I had never let him in. That he had been waiting for the day when I'd accept him, maybe when I was older, maybe when I was 20 or 30 or 40. But that day never came, and after seeing that painting, he realized it never would. He said, "I thought I could be her dad, but I was wrong. I don't want to spend the rest of my life being rejected. I still want to be a parent, and I'm only 51. I can find someone who will have children with me." And then he left. Just like that. He packed up, filed for divorce, and told my mom he was done. Before he walked out, he looked at me and said, "One day you're going to regret this. You don't know how good you could have had it." My mom lost it. She told me this was my fault, that if I had just called him dad or let him adopt me or pretended to feel differently, he wouldn't have left. She begged me to call him and apologize, to tell him I'd been wrong, that I loved him like a father after all. I told her I wouldn't. That would be a lie. She screamed at me that I had ruined everything, that I was selfish, that Steve had been in my life almost as long as my real dad had, and that he would have been the one to walk me down the aisle someday, to be a grandfather to my future kids, to be her partner in growing old. And now, because of me, she had nobody. She asked me who I considered my father figure now. I told her the truth, my grandpas. Both of them have been there for me since I was born. They're my father figures. Steve never was. That only made her angrier. She said the fact I was still fighting her after ruining her marriage showed how little I cared about her. I tried to explain. I told her I did care. I loved her. That's why I tried to get along with Steve. I didn't push him away. I didn't scream, "You're not my dad," every time he spoke to me. I accepted that he was her husband, but I would never let anyone take my dad's place. And that was my boundary. She said boundaries were just excuses, and I should feel ashamed for destroying a good thing. I don't know how to feel. On one hand, I know in my heart that I didn't ask for this. I didn't make Steve marry my mom. I didn't make him expect me to replace my dad. I didn't make him leave. He made that choice. On the other hand, if I had been more flexible, if I had just played along, maybe things would be different. Maybe mom wouldn't be crying in her room every night, telling me she has no one now. It hurts because I never wanted to hurt her. I just wanted to be honest. But maybe honesty was the wrong choice. Maybe I should have lied just to keep the peace. One night, about a week after Steve left, mom sat me down at the kitchen table. "Do you realize what you've done?" she asked, her voice flat. "I didn't make him leave," I said quietly. "You may as well have. You push him away every single day. You rejected him. You embarrassed him. And now he's gone. Do you think any man will ever stay with me again? knowing how cruel my daughter can be. Mom, I wasn't cruel. I was polite. I couldn't call him Dad. That was Dad's name. It still is. She slammed her hand on the table. You don't get it, do you? Life isn't about what you want all the time. Sometimes you make sacrifices for the people you love. You could have given him that word, that one word, and it would have saved everything. I just stared at her. My chest was burning. You wanted me to erase my dad to make you happy. I wanted you to love the man who loved you. She snapped. But I guess you're too selfish for that. I went to my room and cried until I fell asleep. Steve is gone. He's filed the papers. Mom is bitter and icy toward me most days, unless she's crying and begging me to fix this. I don't know what to do. I don't even know if there is anything I can do. I feel like my house is haunted, not by ghosts, but by absence. My dad's absence. Steve's absence. Even Mom feels absent now, because she looks at me like I'm the villain in her story. Sometimes I catch myself wondering if Steve was right. Will I regret this one day? Will I look back and think I should have just accepted him? Or will I feel proud that I stayed true to my dad's memory? I don't know. So, AITA for never accepting my mom's husband as my dad, even though it ended their marriage. Update. Hi everyone. I didn't expect my original post to blow up like it did. I honestly thought maybe a handful of people would read it, but I got hundreds of comments and DMs. I read almost all of them, and it was overwhelming, but in a good way. Thank you to everyone who gave advice, even the harsh stuff. A week after my post, Steve actually texted me. Out of the blue. The message said, I know you think I hate you. I don't. I just couldn't keep waiting for you to change. I still wish you the best. That was it. No apology, no acknowledgement of how much pressure he put on me. Just this vague best wishes. I didn't respond. Part of me wanted to unleash everything I was feeling. How unfair it was for him to expect me to erase my dad. How manipulative it felt when he told me I'd regret it one day. But another part of me thought, what's the point? He made his decision. He's gone. Mom saw the text. She checks my phone sometimes. Yes, I know that's a whole other issue. She cried and begged me to reply, to just say something kind, so he'll come back. I refused. That led to another fight. Things with Mom are complicated. She's still grieving the marriage, but instead of directing that at Steve, she keeps directing it at me. One night last week, she came into my room and said, Do you even care that I'm alone? Do you even realize what you've cost me? I told her, You're not alone. You still have me. You just don't want me. You want a version of me who erases Dad for Steve. She didn't answer. She just stood there for a while and then left. Since then, she's been quieter. Not nicer, exactly, but like she's exhausted. She still makes comments under her breath, like, well, you got what you wanted, when she sees the empty chair at dinner. But the screaming has lessened. After I posted, I show my grandparents, Dad's parents, the thread. They don't totally get Reddit, but I read parts of it out loud. My grandma cried. My grandpa hugged me and said, See, you're not crazy. They've been more involved since. They invited me to spend weekends with them, just to get a break from the tension at home. Being there feels like breathing clean air after choking on smoke. Grandma told me, Your father will be proud of you for holding on to him. Love doesn't vanish because someone dies. That made me cry too. I've been journaling more, partly because so many people in the comments told me to. It helps weirdly. I write letters to my dad, telling him what's happening. It makes me feel like he's still part of my life. I've also started talking to my school counselor. I didn't tell Mom. It's confidential anyway, but I needed someone neutral. The counselor said something that stuck with me. You are not responsible for managing adult relationships. That's your mom's job, not yours. I've been repeating that to myself whenever the guilt creeps in. Steve hasn't come back. The divorce is moving forward. Mom is bitter, but she's also starting to direct her anger at him too, which is a relief. She's realizing, slowly, that he didn't just leave because of me. He left because he wanted kids she couldn't give him. As for me, I still feel guilty sometimes, but less crushed than before. Writing the post and reading everyone's responses helped me see that I wasn't being cruel. I was just being honest about my feelings and boundaries. I still don't know what my relationship with Mom will look like long-term. Right now, I'm just counting down until I can graduate and move out. That sounds harsh, but it's the truth. I love her, but I can't live under constant blame.